What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to look at all of the Digimon cards. You see, we've now seen enough in the starter decks that we can start really looking at all of them. Now, it is only the starter decks, of course, but that doesn't really matter. What is important is that we know every single card that is going to be in the red starter deck. So I think we should have a flick through all the cards which are going to be in the red starter deck. Now, a couple of shout outs quickly before we get going. Massive shout out to the lovely Vincent Rec fan who has been making these proxies based off of the lovely Jason Snowjax's translations. Lovely people, without them I could not be using these cards. And a shout out to the lovely Derek Claren who uploads them to the Google Drive, which is rather nice. So, we are actually using the translated versions here, so these are not Japanese scans, these are Japanese scans which have been remade a little bit, by which I mean they've just had the English writing put on top of them. Because we're going through so many, I think we have to do it this time. I don't usually use the English proxies, but I think today we've probably got to. So starting off with the only Digi-Egg in the starter deck, it's Coromon. A level 2 Digimon, and during your turn, if this Digimon has 4 or more evolution sources, they gain 1000 power. Now, this is very interesting, because of course, as it stands at the moment, we've got level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you get from Coromon all the way up to level 6, you get plus 1000 power. Otherwise, it does nothing. When it says 4 or more, does that mean more than level 6 in the future? Almost certainly. Biyomon is a 2 cost to play normally, 0 cost to evolve, 3000 DP level 3. It's fine. It's more powerful than some of the other level 3s you'll see, but it is vanilla. I mean, compare that to Agumon. Agumon is a level 3, and it's a 3 cost to play normally, 0 to evolve, so it's 1 more expensive, and it has 2000 power, which is lower, but during your turn it's got an inheritable ability that gives the Digimon plus 1000 power. Please remember that this is only for Pokemon evolved from Agumon. Agumon itself does not get this skill. So clearly, if you're playing the evolution game, this makes your Digimon more powerful, which is kind of what red decks do. Or you can have a 3 cost to play normally, 0 cost to evolve, 4000 power DRACOMON. So here again, we're slightly more expensive than something like Biyomon, but you've also got more power, so you've got a selection of level 3s. Moving into the level 4s, we've got one that's vanilla, and it is Birdramon. 4 cost to play normally, 2 cost to evolve, 5000 power. So we are starting to build up the power, and to be fair, 5000 on a level 4 from what we've seen so far is pretty good, but it is vanilla. Moving up into a really good level 4, you've got COREDRAMON. Now, it's a 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to evolve. You generally don't have to pay more to evolve, even on the more powerful ones. It seems like we've got a normally fairly standard way to evolve up, except for the level 6s, we'll get there in a minute. But all of the level 3s in the red starter deck are 0 to evolve, and all of the level 4s are 2 to evolve. To go back to it, it's a blocker, and I think blockers are going to be extremely valuable in this game. When an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may put this card to rest mode and direct that attack to this card instead. So whether they're trying to take out one of your resting Digimon or whether they're trying to go after your security stack, I have done a complete learn to play. There's no way I can go through the rules in this video, take far too long. But I've done a complete learn to play, I'll link it in the description. Regardless of what they're trying to attack, this is your blocker. It's the only blocker in the starter deck, and I do believe that blockers are going to be very important. Is very much worth pointing out that when you attack, you have to give up 2 memory, and 6000 power is really good for a level 4. It's the most powerful level 4 in the deck, but having to pay 2 memory to attack is a lot. You have been warned, ladies and gentlemen. You have been warned. There's going to be so many games lost because people attack with this forgetting that you have to pay to attack. If you've got the memory, it's a good attacker, but most of the time you don't want to attack with it, so that it's active at the end of your turn, so that you can use it as a blocker. The other level 4 we've got here is Greymon. 5 cost to play normally, 2 to evolve, 4,000 power. So the same stats as COREDRAMON, or the same cost, with 2/3 of the power. But it's got an inheritable skill that gives security attack +1. Which is really good. If you're evolving up and you are just going up through the evolution stages, this is clearly the best of the level 4 in the red deck. Security attack +1 means that you attack 2 security cards rather than 1. Although also very, very much worth pointing out that if you are destroyed by a security card, the security card is a Digimon with more power or the same as you've got, you don't get the extra security attack. But if you keep evolving up from this and then you end up with a really powerful card of security attack +1, that's pretty gosh darned good. Now we've got 2 level 5s, one of which is, well, you have vanilla ones, but only has a skill 1 time, and that is GARUDAMON. 6 cost to play normally, 3 cost to evolve, both the level 5s are free to evolve, 7,000 power, and on the turn you evolve, one of your Digimon gets plus 3,000 DP. Now, we do need to wait for rulings and all of that, but generally speaking here, this is going to mean that you can do it for either yourself or for one of your other Digimon. And that's kind of awesome. I adore this. Now remember, you can evolve up as much as you like during your turn, so you essentially can just use this to buff up whoever you like, even if it's yourself, and then keep evolving up. That's kind of awesome. It is a one-time boost. Now if we compare this to, say, Agumon, it gives plus 1,000 as an inheritable skill, but it's for the rest of the game. This is plus 3,000, but it's to one Digimon once for one attack. This does, however, pair really nicely with security attack. So let's say, for argument's sake, you evolve this from a Greymon, you then have security attack +1, and you can give yourself the extra 3,000, or you can give something that did evolve from Greymon the extra 3,000, and then you've got extra power and extra security attack. So that means that you're far less likely to be destroyed by a Digimon that comes out as a security card. Moving over into Metal Greymon, you've got the same 7,000 power, the same free cost to evolve, but now it is 7 to play normally rather than 6. It is more expensive. But it's got an inheritable skill that says when this Digimon is blocked, you get +3 memory. Now remember, as it stands at the moment, this is only going to work on a level 6. You evolve Metal Greymon up into a level 6, and then that level 6 Digimon gets +3 memory when it's blocked. Here's the thing though. Your level 6 Digimon are more likely to get blocked than your other Digimon. Because they're better. Because they're more powerful. Because in theory they're all built up with all inheritable skills, and they're just looking phenomenal. So this is a really good skill to have as an inheritable skill. If your opponent isn't blocking, this does nothing, but +3 memory is not to be sniffed at. And it's going to make your opponent have these awkward decisions to make of, well, is it worth blocking them? Bearing in mind that to block them I have to give up free memory, I don't think it is. So they're going to have to basically decide whether they want to give up a security card or Digimon, or whether they want to give you an extra free memory. An extra free memory is very, very good. If your opponent has no blockers on the field, however, does nothing. But as I said earlier on in the video, I expect blocking to be a pretty big thing in the game. I expect blocking to be a very, very useful skill that is used very regularly in games. Blocking is kind of huge. So I expect this to be really, really good. Moving on then, we've got a couple of level 6 Digimon to talk about. One's vanilla, one isn't. The vanilla one is Agumon. A 2 cost to evolve, 10 cost to play normally. Now that might be weird because 2 cost to evolve is the same as a level 4. It's cheaper than a level 5. but it's a vanilla card. And it's got 12,000 power. 12,000 power is awesome, but it's a vanilla card. This is your I want power. Simple as that. This is the level 6 you play if you want to just go powerful. It's not got any skills, it's not got any frills, but it is cheaper than other level 6s, and it gives you a lot of power. It really is as simple as that. The other level 6 is Greymon, which again has 12,000 power, but it's 12 cost to play normally, and 4 to evolve, which is expensive. But it does have a skill that says for every 2 of its evolution sources, it gets security attack +1. If you've gone all the way from your Coromon upwards, you'll have 4 evolution sources, which gives you security attack +2. And you've got the 12,000 power, and you might have evolved from Agumon, which gives you an extra 1,000 power, and you might have evolved from Greymon, which gives you security attack +1, so actually now you've got security attack +3, and you can probably see where we're going here. This is not a Digimon to just play down willy-nilly. If you want a big, powerful level 6, you use Agumon. But if you've got some good evolution sources, especially if they are multiple, Greymon is where we're at. If you've got, say, 13, 14, 15,000 power and security attack +3, that's going to win you the game pretty quickly. Although please do remember, after you've got rid of all the security cards, you still need to actually attack in order to win the game. That's very important. If you don't attack, you don't win the game, even if they've got no security sources left. Or security cards. But it should be pretty good at getting rid of security cards. Really should. Now we have exactly one tamer, as do all the starter decks, and it is Yagami Taichi. And it just gives your Digimon plus 1,000 power on your turn. It's very important to note that this only applies on your turn. On your opponent's turn, when your opponent is attacking your Digimon, you don't get the boost here. That is important to note. But you can already see that that's what this red starter deck is doing. Agumon is boosting up your power. Coromon is boosting up your power. I mean, if you get a couple of Yagami Taichi, and it is worth bearing in mind that this is... These tamers, they stack. And you're allowed to play 4 like you are with all other cards. So you could potentially get a few of these out, add a Coromon, and all of a sudden, you could be boosting your power a lot very early on in the game. If this comes out as a security card, you just play it without paying the cost. It is awesome as a security card. And then there are 4 option cards. One of them, Shadow Wing, nice and simple. It's got a main skill that during this turn, one of your Digimon gets plus 3,000 DP. Okay, it's fine. I mean, it's a 1-cost boost power by 3,000, and let's face it, that's what we've been doing here, right? That's basically what the red deck does, so it's a nice little option card that follows along with it. Now, one of the things that's very interesting here is that when it comes out as a security card, it's actually got a rather different effect. Until the end of your next turn, all of your Digimon get security attack +1. So this is odd, and it's, I would say, quite a bit better as a security card than it is as an option card. As an option card, it's fine. 3,000 power boost for 1 memory is nice. And let's face it, it means you're going to get a bunch of KOs that you wouldn't get otherwise. That's nice. But giving all... I mean, imagine, right? Imagine if you've got 4 or 5 Digimon on the field. Even 3, to be fair. If you've got like 3 Digimon on the field, and you flip this when your opponent attacks your security stack, you could be going through... I mean, if they've got 4 security left, and you've got 3 Digimon on the field, then 2 of them get security attack +1. Assuming they don't get destroyed by your opponent's security cards, they'll take down all of your opponent's security, and then you attack with your 3rd one to win the game. As an option card, it's quite nice to give you a boost. As a security card, this could be game-ending. Starlight Explosion is a 2-cost option card, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, all of your security Digimon get plus 7,000 4,000 DP, which is ludicrous. As a side note, if it comes out as a security card, then for the rest of this turn, i.e. your opponent's turn that is currently going on, your security Digimon get plus 7,000 DP. This is nuts. When you play through the app, as I've done a bunch of times, I've played with and against this card, and essentially, when Starlight Explosion gets played, unless you are desperate or you are willing to give up the Digimon, you don't attack the stack. It all but turns it into, if you attack the stack, you will either lose your Digimon or you'll get lucky and there'll be an optional Tamer card at the top. But even then, your opponent's going to play that card, so it means that attacking the stack is going to be a downside. For a 2-cost option card, this seems a little bit dumb. Now, we do have a 6-cost option card, which is getting expensive, but you get to destroy up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon that are 4,000 DP or below. As a little side note, as a security card, it just does the same thing. And this is a very situational card. It's not always going to work. There are going to be times you've got this in your hand and it does nothing, because all your opponent's Digimon are 5,000 or above. But there are going to be other times this works very nicely. There are going to be some brilliant combos coming in here if you make a red-yellow deck where you play some yellow cards that reduce your opponent's Digimon power and then drop this. There are going to be times where that works really rather beautifully. And then we end up with Gaia Force. It's an 8-cost, which is very expensive, but it just destroys one of your opponent's Digimon. And as a security card, it does the same thing. And this can be a level 6 Digimon that's got 4 evolution sources and 12,000 power. This could be destroying an absolute beast that your opponent is relying on. We said earlier that you could end up with a Digimon that's got 15,000, 16,000 power and security attack plus 3. Well, now imagine that you just drop that and get rid of it for your opponent. That's kind of ridiculous. So there we go. Fun times, ladies and gentlemen. I like this red deck. I'll be honest with you. It's the yellow deck which has really made me fall in love with it. But as a guy that plays aggressively, this red deck is absolutely on my radar and I love it. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.